Okay folks, I've only got a treat for you. It's probably a guy I'm going to spend a wee bit of a series on. Couple of changes. You'll notice I've been playing with the contrast. It's made it really grainy for this webcam here. Hope to make it better soon. Yeah, on with the show. So, time for another change, folks. Here we go. Normally my style is to let the video play and then I'll stop it and put in my bit, taking a piss usually. Instead of that, I'm going to try a different style. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Now, the guy I'm poning tonight is a guy called Terrell Croft. Some of you may know him. You may have heard of him. I don't know if you will or not, but this guy, from a quick Google search, has been banned a couple of times from a couple other conspiracy websites. He's got a YouTube channel, Terrell 03, as in 03, which is hilarious. He's got a website which I'll link below, and that is just something I think I'll be spending a few videos on alone. He's apparently got a Twitter account as well, but I don't do Twitter, so it's up to you to find it. And I think this guy's fucking retarded. He really is. So, shall we get on with what I'm going to destroy first, shall we?
Hello YouTube, this is Terrell. Today is Wednesday, January 25th, 2012. This is an update warning video, March the 22nd. March the 22nd is our event day on the first quarter of this cycle.
Now Terrell there, or Tyrrell, whatever you want to call him. Terrell there is claiming that there's going to be an event somewhere in the world, generally about the Pacific Ocean area. Generally an earthquake, and he's very precise about it. In fact, he's so precise that it may seem like a wee error on his part. So, where was it again, Tyrrell? Tyrell, whatever the hell name is. What time was it again that you said
that we're going to have an event at 4:58:34, March 22nd, UT time.
Now, I wonder if you guys can realise the mistake. The mistake, of course, is that he's given us a very precise time. March 22nd, 4:58 and 44 seconds. UT time. Now, I had to Google UT time because I'd never heard of UT time. And I think he means UTC time, which, in other words, Universal Time, I forget what C stands for. It's generally GMT time. So if you live in the UK, it's roughly at that. It's 2 minutes to 5 in the morning, basically, when this disaster, this event, will hit us on the Earth. And anywhere else, well, you can figure it out from GMT time, or he could be meaning Utah time, because you know Utah has its own timeline apparently, according to some Google searches. I don't know which. I'm going to presume UT time, UTC time, or GMT. Okay. Now, this is ridiculous, as many people will point out. It's best to keep a prediction vague, because then you can always say, well, the stars were just hiding it all from me. They would just tell me lies to weed out the true believers. You've given a very specific time, and how you came about that time is interesting. Really, it is interesting to see. I'll let the guy explain it himself.
But March the 22nd Just happens to be the day of an alignment, not only with a heavy mass object, but with other things. I'll show you that in a minute. I went back to the time, February 27, 2010. This is Chile, 6:34:14. And then I looked at the time for the Japan quake that happened last year, March 11th, 5:46:24. There's a pattern here. Okay, I took the times, and I realized that there's 189 days minus 47 minutes and 50 seconds in this cycle. Now, if the solar system is a giant clock and it has movement, then we're going to see a pattern here. And the pattern says...
So tell me, pal, which one of the planets that we have in our solar system is going to be the wee hand? Which one's going to be the big hand? And which one's going to be the second hand here? And tell me, if the Earth's going to be destroyed by these solar clocks, does that mean we're a snooze button? Should we be worried about when the alarm goes off? Is some big celestial hand going to come down and slam down on top of the snooze button? Just 10 more minutes! Yeah. Here's a hint, pal. The solar system is no clock. It's not a clock. Idiots. Now, your whole hypothesis here is that a heavy mass object, somehow undetectable to us, is moving towards us. And the planets are aligning, making it easier for the heavy mass object to affect us. So it's interesting how you say March 22nd is the day that this heavy mass object is going to affect us, and then you go on to say this.
That March 22nd, this is going to be a big day. For certain, this is going to be a big day. Even if there's no heavy mass object, this is going to be a big day.
I mean, how can you have a big, massive day based around this heavy mass object that's coming towards us? Even if there isn't one, how is it going to be a big, massive day according to your theory, your hypothesis, shall we say? How can you convince us here, even laymen like me, of your scientific hypothesis? Your utterly scientific hypothesis, which you obviously have repeatedly tested again and again and again, with the control, obviously, of a separate solar system. Please do tell us, as I carry on with my David Attenborough impersonation, watching the little insignificant ant that you are try to build a big nest all on your own.
Okay, so now I turn the solar system scope to this time and look at the moon and look at the Earth and look at Mercury and look at Uranus. When you turn this sideways, look at the planetary alignments that we have going on here.
Look at your own Uranus, pal. Now, on a more serious note, what evidence have you got that the Chilean earthquake, the Fukushima earthquake, and this supposed earthquake which is going to hit us on March 22nd are all linked? Considering there are so many earthquakes per day, about 20 a day, mainly of quite a high magnitude, around the world at any time. Or are you just focusing on ones that have caused destruction to human populations that have been sensationalised by any chance? Now, you go on a bit about planetary alignments, which is when we come to a fun little bit here. You see, you seem to think that this heavy mass object is coming along undetected, and, well, I'll just have to play the clip.
Mars, Venus, and Jupiter. All kinds of alignments going on here. This looks like a magical day that we have, even with the moon involved. And what this does not show, according to the astronomer reports, then this is Jupiter line right here. The heavy mass object is coming in at this angle like this. It's right through here, and it's coming directly in line just like last year, except for instead of Fukushima on March 11th, March 22nd is the day, because we're spinning everything around 11 days and a little bit. That puts a heavy mass object right about here, if my calculations are correct, which is going to add to this alignment. And in that case, then we're going to have a giant event. Now, the way that...
so according to you, this heavy mass object has swung by before. In which case, if it has an observable effect upon the Earth, then it is observable. However, according to you later on, this heavy mass object has not been spotted by anyone, by scientists for example, or astronomers, apart from your astronomer sources. You even go to claim that it's a black star, which means we can't, and we have no means to detect such a black star. Let me give you a little physics lesson, shall we? In fact, I know the very man to tell you how we could detect this very massive, very heavy mass object that you seem to describe as being a black dwarf.
Gravity, you fucking retard! Gravity! Have you ever heard of fucking gravity? Gravity! Gravity!
Yes, gravity. That wonderful force that keeps us on the Earth. That wonderful force that is pulling us towards the Earth's core. That wonderful force that keeps us spinning in orbit around the Sun's dense core. Gravity. That's how we could detect this partly heavy mass black dwarf moving through our solar system. You see, its gravitational pull from having such a heavy mass would pull all the other planets out of alignment. You would see the effects from, say, Jupiter moving out of the system. As it moves down, you'd see all the planets getting shifted around. That's how we can tell that there's no Nibiru, that there's no Planet X that's going to hit us within the next year. Because we would be, well, apart from the fact it would be visible from the night sky alone just by looking up. You know we can see Jupiter, right? I mean, we could tell there's no such thing hitting us in the next few years because there is no invisible gravitational mass, gravitational well, moving towards us. It's a slight detail that you Nibirutards kind of miss out on. Also, a black dwarf, they are theoretical. They're hypothetical, I should say. And generally they're called black dwarfs not because they're black, but because they emit no radiation. Knowledge, son. Learn to knowledge. Now you go on to state how this heavy mass object has shifted the Earth's axis by 3 to 4 centimeters. Not a great big deal. Or inches in your case, sorry, inches. 3 to 4 inches I should say. Not a big deal, you'd think. And you're right, it's not. Now NASA think that the axial shift of the Earth, the rotation of the Earth, has increased to shorten our day, but it's not enough to notice. It's not a significant amount. In fact, it's a negligible amount. Because of the earthquake. The thing is, this always happens. It's not specific to a heavy mass object heading towards us for a specific time. And if it's reaching us every time, at the same time, that would mean its orbit would have been detected a long time ago, because it would be part of the solar system to orbit like that regularly. Fail after fail, son. You've got to keep trying, Tyrrell. And here's the evidence of why him saying the Earth's axis is shifting and it's causing problems because of the heavy mass object. Which, remember, we're going to have a big day on March 22nd, whether it's there or not.
the Earth is turned at that time, the exact way that the Earth is turned 2 years prior has caused this event with the Earth axis shift of 3 inches and this event with Earth axis shift 4 inches, telling me that whenever, see, the heavy mass object is now closer and the gravity trough that's being enhanced here by this alignment is going to be that much deeper. We could be looking at a 5 or 6 inch Earth axis shift.
I gotta stop it there. I mean, I can't find anything to tell me what a gravity trough is. My friend Deaf of Speech suggested it might be from the hypothetical and entirely unmeasured gravity waves that are getting speculated about in physics circles. But, like as in the trough of the wave. But not the way this guy sounds like it. I think this guy actually thinks it is a trough. You know, for the little space piggies that are coming along. Maybe he thinks it's a black pygmy dwarf space pig that's heading towards us to eat out this gravity trough that gets deeper and deeper as the planets align. Evil Gen videos, he looked for me as well in all the scientific papers that he could, journals I should say, not papers as such, and he couldn't find anything really except one paper from 1979 which was released from NASA. I'll put the link below, but it doesn't really have anything to do with gravitational troughs, which is bullshit. I think he means gravitational well, and again, planets align. It's not a new thing, it's not unusual, planets align all the time. It doesn't really mean shit in this solar system, because they've been doing it for a long time, a very long time, for 4 billion years, funnily enough, in that way. I think we'd have noticed by now, every year, if there was a disaster, every year from planets aligning. Don't you? Now I'm going to wrap this video up about 16 minutes long. He just makes some stupid claims about this gravitational trough. For starters, according to him, it's already formed. Yep, this trough that the little space piggies come and eat it. And not only does he say the heavy mass object is coming, but he also seems to think there's a star in this trough in the solar system that is not the Sun. Yes, we used to be part of another star, that our star was born to a star and Steph, but we don't have in the solar system 2 stars. We have 1 star in this system. We're a unisolar system, not a dual solar system. We don't have 2 stars, we don't have 3 stars, we have 1 star. There's no invisible star that we can't see in the solar system. So,
March 22nd at 4:58. So the Earth is traveling around this way, going, well, it was at perihelion around here, going 67,000 miles per hour. So it's now slowing down. So we're between 66 and 67,000 miles per hour going this way. We're crossing right between the Sun, this trough that's already formed, and the heavy mass object. Now, if there's a star right here, adding to this enhancement, big giant event, big giant event, big giant event. People need to be away from the seismic zones.
it's a real astronomy fail for you. I mean, good grief. A star in this gravitational trough which you've created out of the bullshit, if that is in your head, along with the black dwarf piglet that's heading our way, the heavy mass object, that little piggy, to feed in the trough, and all the planets aligning is all going to create, what, an earthquake that only affects a small portion of the Earth, or our tiny insignificant portion, unless you're living in that section. Really? You deluded little bastard. Anyway, I'm going to link you the solar system website that I use because I find it quite cool. What else shall I link you? I'll save linking his website for a second video because it kind of goes. I've done with this sort of. I'm going to have to do this in 2 parts. Like I said, I'm going to make a series about this idiot, and I'll probably link you to the original video. Other than that, folks, yeah, stay safe. Ooh, Nibiru's coming. Ooh, yeah.